This world which is made of our love. This world which is made of our love for emptiness. Praise to the emptiness that blanks out existence. Existence, this place made from our love for that emptiness. It somehow comes. Emptiness, this existence goes. Praise to that happening over and over. For years I pulled my existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of mountainous wanting. The here and now mountain is a tiny piece of a piece of straw blown off into emptiness. These words I'm saying so much begin to lose meaning. Existence, emptiness, mountain, straw. Words and what they try to say swept out the window, down the slant of the roof. It is said that after Muhammad and the prophets, revelation did not descend upon anyone else. Why not? In fact, it does, but then it is not called revelation. It is what the prophet referred to when he said, "The believer sees with the light of God." When the believer looks with, the believer sees with the light of God. When the believer looks with God's light, he sees all things, the first and the last, the present and the absent. For how can anything be hidden from God's light? And if something is hidden, then it is not the light of God. Therefore, the meaning of revelation exists, even if it's not called revelation. The drum of the realization. The drum of the realization of the promise is beating. We are sweeping the road to the sky. Your joy is here today. What remains for tomorrow? The armies of the day have chased the army of the night. Heaven and earth are filled with purity and light. O joy for he who has escaped from this world of perfumes and color. For beyond these colors and these perfumes, there are other colors in the heart and the soul. All joy for this soul and this heart who has escaped the earth of water and clay. Although this water and this clay contains the heart of the philosophical stone. Magical Odes, 833. I said before that every craftsman searches for what's not there to practice his craft. A builder looks for the rotten hole with a roof caved in. A water carrier picks the empty pot. A carpenter stops at the house with no door. Workers rush towards some hint of emptiness, which they then start to fill. Their hope, though, is for emptiness, so don't think you must avoid it. It contains what you need. Dear soul, if you were not friends with the vast nothing inside, why would you always be casting your net into it and waiting so patiently? This invisible ocean has given you such abundance, but still you call it death, that which provides you substance and worth. God has allowed some magic reversal to occur, so that you see the scorpion pit as an object of desire, and all the beautiful expanse around it as dangerous and swarming with snakes. This is how strange your fear of death and emptiness is, and how perverse the attachment to what you want. Now that you heard me on your misapprehensions, dear friend, listens to Atta's story on the same subject. He struck the pearls of this about King Mahu, who, among the spoils of this Indian campaign, there was a Hindi boy whom he adopted as the son. He educated and provided royalty for the boy, and later made him vice-regent, seated on a gold throne beside him. One day he found the young man weeping. "Why are you crying? You're the companion of an emperor. The entire nation is ranged out before you like stars that you can command." The young man replied, "I am remembering my mother and my father, and how they scared me as a child with threats of you. Oh no, oh, he's headed for King Mahub's court. Nothing could be more hellish. Where are they now, when they should see me sitting here? This incident about your fear of changing. You are the Hindu boy, Mahu, which means praised to the end. Is the spirit's poverty or emptiness? The mother and the father are your attachment to beliefs and blood ties and desires and comforting habits. Don't listen to them. They seem to protect, but they imprison. They are your worst enemies. They make you afraid of living in emptiness. Someday you'll weep tears of delight in that court. Remember your mistaken parents. Know that your body nurtures the spirit. Help it grow and give it wrong advice. The body becomes eventually like a vest of chain, mauled in peaceful years, too hot in summer and too cold in winter. But the body's desires in another way are like an unpredictable associate whom you must be patient with. And that companion is helpful because patience expands your capacity to love and feel grace. The patience of a rose close to a thorn keeps it fragrant. It's patience that gives milk to the male camel still nursing in its third year. And patient is what the prophet showed to us. The beauty of carefully sewing on a shirt is the patience it contains. Friendships and loyalty have patience as the strength of their connection. Feeling lonely and ignoble indicates that you haven't been patient. Be with those who mix with God as honey blends with milk and say, anything that comes and goes, rises and sets, is not what I love. Else you'll be like a caravan fire left to flare itself out alongside the road. Those spiritual window shoppers. These spiritual window shoppers who idly ask, "How much is that?" "Oh, I'm just looking." They handle 100 items and put them down. Shadows with no capital. What is spent is love, and 2 eyes wet with weeping. But those walk into a shop, and their whole lives pass suddenly in that moment, in that shop. Where did you go? Nowhere. What did you have to eat? Nothing much. Even if you don't know what you want, buy something to be a part of the exchanging flow. Start a huge, foolish project like Noah. It makes absolutely no difference what people think of you. I died. I died from minerality and became vegetable. And from vegetativeness I died and became animal. I died from amenality and became man. Then why fear disappearance through death? Next time I shall die, bringing forth wings and feathers like angels. After that, soaring higher than angels. What you cannot imagine, I shall be that. Soul receives from soul the knowledge, therefore not my book, nor from tongue. If knowledge and mysteries come after emptiness of mind, that is illumination of heart. If thou wilt be observant and vigilant, thou wilt see at every moment the response to thy action. Be observant. If thou wouldn't have a pure heart for something is born to thee in consequence of every action. I said, thou art harsh like such a one. No, he replied, that I am harsh for good, and not from rancor and spite. Whoever enters saying, this I smite him on the brow. For this is the shrine of love, O fool. It is not a sheep coat. Rub thy eyes and behold the image of the heart. Make yourself free from self at one stroke. Like a sword, be without trace of soft iron. Like a steel mirror, scorn off all rust with contrition. A star without a name. When a baby is taken from the wet nurse, it easily forgets her and starts eating solid food. Seeds feed a while on ground, then lift up into the sun. So you should taste the filtered light and work your way towards wisdom with no personal covering. That's how you come here, like a star without a name. Move across the night sky with those ominous lights. Gone to the unseen. At last you have departed and gone to the unseen. What marvelous route did you take from this world? Beating your wings and feathers, you broke free from this cage. Rising up to the sky, you attained the world of the soul. You were a prize falcon trapped by an old woman. Then you heard the drummer's call and flew beyond space and time. As a love-sick nightingale, you flew among the owls. Then came the scent of the rose garden, and you flew off to meet the rose. The whine of this flight in this fleeting world causes your head to ache. Finally, you joined the tavern of eternity. Like an arrow, you sped from the bow and went straight for the bullseye of bliss. This phantom world gave you false signs, but you turned from the illusion and journeyed to the land of truth. You are now the sun. What need have you for a crown? You have vanished from this world. What have you need to tie your road? I heard that you barely see your soul, but why look at all? Yours is now the soul of souls. O heart, what a wonderful bird you are. Seeking divine heights, flapping your wings, you smash the pointed spears of your enemy. The flowers flee from autumn, but not you. You are the fearless rose that grows amidst the freezing wind. Pouring down like the rain of heaven, you fell upon the rooftop of this world. Then you ran in every direction and escaped through the drain spout. Now the words are over, and the pain they bring is gone. Now you have gone to rest in the arms of the beloved. How did you get away? How did you get away? You were the pet falcon of an old woman. Did you hear the falcon drum? You were a drunken songbird put in with owls. Did you smell the odor of a garden? You got tired of sour fermenting and left the tower. You went like an arrow to the target from the bow of time and place. The man who stays at the cemetery pointed the way, but you didn't go. You became light and gave up wanting to be famous. You didn't worry about what you're going to eat, so why buy an engraved belt? I heard of living at the center. What about leaving the center of the center? Flying towards thankfulness, you become the rare bird with one wing, made of fear and one of hope. In autumn, a rose crawling along the ground in the cold wind. Rain on the roof runs down and out by the spout as fast as it can. Talking is pain. Lay down and rest now that you found a friend to be with. He comes. He comes, a moon who like the sky never saw, awake or dreaming, crowned with eternal flame, no flood can lay. Lo, from the flagon of thy love, O Lord, my soul is swimming, and ruled all my body's house of clay. When first the giver of the grape my lonely heart befriended, wine fired my bosom and my veins filled up. But when his image all mine eye possessed, a voice descended, well done, O sovereign wine and peerless cup. Love's mighty arm from roof to base each dark abode is hewing, where chinks reluctant catch a golden ray. My heart, when love's seed of a sudden burst into its viewing, leaped headlong in with, find me now who may, as the sun moving, clouds behind him run, all hearts attend thee, O Tabat's son. Poor copies out of heaven's originals. Poor copies out of heaven's originals, pale, earthy pictures molding to decay. What care, although your beauties break and fall, when that which gave them life endures for awe? Oh, never vex thine heart with idle woes, all high discourse enchanting the rapt ear. All guided landscapes and brave glistening shows fade, perish, but it is not as we fear. Whilst far away the living fountains ply, each petty brook goes brimful to the main, since barren nor fountain can forever die. Thou fears how foolish, thou lament how vain. What is this fountain? Wondrous thou'st rightly know, the soul, hence issue all created things. Doubtless the river shall not cease to flow, till silence or the everlasting springs. Farewell to sorrow, and with quiet mind, drink long and deep, let others fondly deem the channel empty, that they perchance may find, or fathom that unfathomable stream. The moment thou to this low world waste away, a ladder stood whereby you might aspire, and first thy steps which upward still have striven, from mineral mounted to the plant, then higher to animal existence, next to man, with knowledge, reason, faith. O wondrous goal, this body which a crumb of dust began, how fairly fashioned the consummate whole. Yet still not here thy journey, thou shalt grow an angel bright, and home far off in heaven. Plod on, plunge last in the great sea, that so the little drop make ocean 7 times 7. The Son of God, nay, leave that word unsaid. Say, God is one, the pure, the single true. What through thy frame be withered, old, and dead, if thy soul kept her fresh, immortal youth? Departure. Up, O ye lovers, and away. 'Tis time to leave the world where I hark loud and clear from heaven the form of parting calls. Let's not delay. The cameler had risen amain, made ready all the camel trail. An acquaintance now desires to gain. Why sleep ye, travelers, I pray? Behind us and before there swells the din of party and of bells. To shoreless space each moment sails a disembodied spirit away. From yonder starry nights and through those curtained awnings darkly blue, mysterious figures float in view, all strange and secret things display. From this orb, wheeling around its pole, a wondrous slumber o'er these stone. O weary life that waitest not, O sleep that on my soul dost weigh. I, O heart, towards the earth, heart's love wind, and O friend, fly towards the friend. Be wakeful, watchman to the end. Drowse singly, no watchman may. The spirit of the saints. There is a water that flows down from heaven to cleanse the world of sin by grace divine. At last, its whole stock spent, its virtues gone, dark with pollution not its own, it speeds back to the fountain of all purities, whence, freshly bathed, earthward, it sweeps again, trailing a robe of glory bright and pure. This river is the spirit of the saints, wherever it sheds until itself is beggared, God's balm on the sick soul, and then returns to Him who made the purest light of heaven. The true self. One makes the Sufi purity of heart, not the patched mantle and the lust perverse, of those vile earthbound men who steal his name. He is in all dregs discerns the essence pure, in handling ease, in tribulation joy. The phantom entities who with barons drawn guards beauty's place gate and curtain bower give way before him. Unafraid he passes, and showing the king's arrow enters in. The unseen power. We are the flute, our music is all things. We are the mountains, echoing only thee, and move us to defeat or victory. Lions emblaze high on flags unfurled, the wine invisible sweeps us through the world. Progress of man. First he appeared in the realm inanimate, thence came into the world of plants and lived. The plant life many a year, not called to mind what he had been, then took the onward way to animal existence, and once more remembered not of what life's vegetative, save when he feels himself moved with desire towards it in the season of sweet flowers, as babes that seek the breast and know not why. Again, the wise Creator, whom thou knowest, uplifted him from animality to man's estate, and so from realm to realm. Advancing, he became intelligent, cunning, and keen of wit, as he is now. No memory of his past abides with him, and from his present soul he shall be changes. Though he is fallen asleep, God will not leave him in this forgetfulness. Awakened, he will laugh to think what truest dreams he had, and wonder how his happy state of being he could forget, and not perceive that all these pains and sorrows were the effects of sleep and guile and vain illusion. So this world seems lasting, though 'tis but the sleeper's dream, who in a night appointed day shall dawn, escapes from dark images that haunted him, and turns with laughter on his phantom griefs when he beholds his everlasting home. Reality and appearance. 'Tis like make colors visible at night. Red, green, and rusted vanish from thy sky. So to thee light by darkness is made known. Since God hath none, he seeing all denies himself eternally to mortal eyes. From the dark jungle as a tiger's bright form from the viewless spirit leaps to light. Descent. I made a far journey, earth's fair cities to view, but like to love city, cities none I knew. At the first I knew not that city's worth, and turned in my folly a wanderer on earth. From so sweet a country I must need pass, and like to cattle grazed on every grass. As Moses' people, I would lift or eat garlic, the manna, and celestial meat. What voice in this world to my ear has come, save the voice of love was a tapped drum? Yet for that drum tap from the world of all into this pursuing land I did fall. That world a lone spirit inhabiting, like a snake I crept without foot or wing. The wine that was laughter, and grace to sit. Like a rose I tasted, without throat or lip. Spirits go a journey, love's voice said, Lo, a home of Trabali I have made. Much I cried, I will not go, yea, and rent my raiment, and made great woe. Even as now I shrink to be gone from here, ever so thence to part I did fear. Spirit, go thy way, love call again, and I shall be ever knight thee as thy next vein. Much did love enchant me, and made me much guile, Love's guile and enchantment captured me the while. In ignorance and folly, when my wings I spread, from palace unto prison I was swiftly sped. Now I would tell how thither thou may'st come, but oh, my pen is broke, and I am dumb. I am part of the load. I am part of the load. Not rightly balanced, I drop off in the grass like the old cave sleepers to browse wherever I fall. For hundreds of thousands of years, I've been dust grains floating and flying in the wheel of the air, often forgetting ever being in that state, but in sleep I migrate back. I spring loose from the four-branch time and space cross this waiting room. I walk into a huge pasture. I nurse the milk of millennia. Everyone does this in different ways, knowing that conscious decisions and personal memory are much too small a place to live. Every human being streams at night into the loving nowhere or during the day, and some absorbing work